welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm recapping the group stage, telling you how many I got right, or what I got right in each group, what I got wrong in each group, and we will predict the knockout stages of this 2022 FIFA World Cup Qatar. Should be a good episode, should be a good video, and let's get this going. Starting with Group A, Netherlands and 7 points on 7 points, Senegal on 6. The two teams advancing, Netherlands and Senegal. Ecuador in third with 4 points. Qatar in fourth with 0 points. I got this exact lineup correct. I had Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar, 1 through 4. Perfect lineup. I got that group completely correct. And I have to say, it was a very interesting group because Ecuador actually made it a challenge. Ecuador, I didn't expect them to do this good. That's the one thing I got from this group is Ecuador was amazing in Group A. They did wonderful to the football that they played in this tournament. You could argue that they deserved to go through, and sadly, Senegal did just enough to knock them out, even though they did face each other in match day 3. They could have beat the Netherlands and made it even crazier, but Netherlands do enough. Cody Gakpo shines in Group A. I got it all correct in that group, 1 through 4, 100%. Easy group. Not easy, but you get the point. So, pretty good. Next up, ain't got much to say because it was exactly the way I thought it would be. Group B. First place, England on 7 points, United States on 5 in second. They both advance. Iran in third with 3 points. Wales in fourth with 1 point. Wales and Iran are eliminated. I thought Wales would finish second, if you remember, and I also thought England would get knocked out in the group stage. I thought they'd crash out. Turns out England, all they really needed was that win against Iran that was basically silently protesting and said, you know what? We really don't want to win this game. They handed it to England. England dominated them. And that's basically enough for England to stay alive in this tournament. Wales, they weren't as great as I thought. They did not play well. Gareth Bale had one clutch moment. Wayne Hennessy's a sieve. It's pretty much what we expected out of Wales. Not what we expect out of Wales, but everybody else did. I thought they could do a bit better, but I also thought that England were just going to fall apart. They didn't. Now, do I think they're still a good team? Not really. I think they're fraudulent. This group is pretty trash, but USA gets second. They do enough. They draw 2, win 1. No problem when it comes down to getting out of this group. It was a very easy group for the U.S. to get out of. They do well against England, but they sort of play down to Iran and Wales. They draw to Wales. They beat Iran by the skin of their teeth, but they were very, very near blowing it. But U.S. gets out of the group. I did say they'd get out of the group. I said they'd win it instead of make it fully out of the group. There we go. But I say they'd finish first, Wales second, England third, Iran fourth. USA, they didn't win the group, but they got out of it. Next up, Group C. In first place with 6 points, Argentina, 6 points. Second place, Poland, 4 points. Mexico with 4 points in third place, and Saudi Arabia in fourth place with 3 points. Argentina and Poland go through. Mexico and Saudi Arabia are eliminated. I called this group to a T. I said Mexico would be pipped by Poland. I had a feeling. Poland was not as good as I thought they would be. I will say that. But Mexico for sure got pipped by Poland. I told you it would happen. I called it for months. I didn't think Mexico could get out of this group. And the only time they really cared was the game they needed to care. When Mexico were dangerous, they're a good team. And they were dangerous against Saudi Arabia, but Argentina did not give them the handoff to get that extra goal, and they didn't get the extra goal to put themselves through. Hell, scoring and making it 3-1 against Saudi Arabia would have put them through on goals scored, but they didn't. Mexico, this one, I thought it would be more Poland gets through and Mexico blows it. It wasn't really Poland getting through. They didn't play well. They drew Mexico, beat Saudi, lost to Argentina. It wasn't a great group for Poland. They did enough. you could say they did definitely pip Mexico, but it wasn't because Mexico blew it. It's more because, you know, it's more because the fact of Saudi, or not Saudi, but Poland definitely put themselves in a better position to just get through. With that being said, I like what I said. I still got both right, but when you see it, it is what it is. Group C did not go completely well. With that being said, now we move on to group, well, it went perfect for me, but it didn't go the way I expected it to, but it did go perfect for me. Let's put it like that. Group D. Group D. We got France in first with 6 points. Australia in second with 6 points. They both get 6. Advance. France blew the last game because they were already through. They rotated and lost to Tunisia. Didn't really expect that, but it is what it is. Eliminated third place Tunisia with 4 points. Denmark with a point. I had Denmark winning the group. I had Australia going through second. That was a good call. France falling to the champions curse. Tunisia getting eliminated fourth. France were way better than I expected, even with all the injuries. France did enough. They dominated Australia. They went and beat Denmark 2-1. Denmark was not great in this tournament. They kind of pulled a Turkey Euro 2021. They were not the dark horse everybody expected them to be, for sure. It was an absolute clown show that Denmark ended up and losing. Tunisia, they finished fourth. That was absolutely... Denmark finishing fourth was an absolute shock. Tunisia, they finished third, and they were actually pretty good. They drew Denmark. They beat France, a rotated France, but they still beat France. That's a pretty good win. And France, they actually had a pretty good run. So I only got one right in this group. Australia, I got Denmark wrong, got France wrong. Tunisia was a spot up. It was not really a great group for me. So far I got 6 out of 8 teams advancing, and 4... Point is, 6 out of 8 teams advancing. That's what really matters. That's not bad after 4, but it's not 100% batting average. Group E, Japan advances with 6 points in first. Spain with 4 points in second advances. Germany 4 points in third. Costa Rica in fourth with 3 points. I had Germany first because I listened to somebody say Spain's not ready. They're here for seasoning. And I'm like, oh, you're making me second guess myself. I was already second guessing myself. And I'm like, oh, well, if you say that, maybe I'm right to second guess myself. So then I ended up putting Spain third. Still had Japan second, which ended up being technically the wrong position, but still going through. And Costa Rica in fourth, which that was correct. Germany shocked me. I thought they were the better team than Spain, but Spain, at least at first, I thought were the better team. But then I thought about it, looked at their lineup, their roster, and then looked at Germany's, and I'm like, maybe I had them flipped. And then I listened and I second-guessed myself, which I don't normally do. But in the end, what I thought was going to happen did happen. I thought Japan-Spain would go through at first. That was never publicized, or it was, but not on my channel. Not in the full predictions, not my true full predictions. But I second-guessed myself. I blew it. So that means I only got 1 out of Group E correct of the teams advancing. Spain, they've done a really good job. They played a good tournament. They beat the hell out of Costa Rica. They drew Germany. They should have really beat them. And Germany should have never had anything going into match day 3, but they did. And sadly enough, Spain doesn't top the group, but they go through. Japan had a great group run. 2 wins. Yeah, they lost to Costa Rica, shockingly, but nobody's finished with 9 points at the top of the group in this tournament. So you can kind of put that aside. That was kind of a weird situation. Japan didn't play their best players. They got them the win against Germany, so they were kind of pushing for the Spain game, which ended up working out, which they kind of galaxy-brained it, but in the end it worked out, and they won the group anyway. So whatever. Costa Rica, they fought, but they weren't that great, but they fought their way through the tournament, even though they got 7-0'd by Spain, but they fought, beat Japan, could have beat Germany. They had a chance. So sort of what I expected out of Costa Rica, but a little bit better, but a little bit worse at the same time. It was sort of paradoxical. Group F. Yeah. First place Morocco, 7 points. Second place Croatia, 5 points. They both advanced. Belgium in third with 4 points eliminated. And Canada in fourth with 0 points. I had Croatia first, Canada second, Belgium third, Morocco fourth. I did not expect Morocco to be this good. I knew they had a chance. I knew people were saying they were the dark horse, but I thought they would be not the Denmark. Well, I guess the Denmark of this tournament, the Turkey of Euro 2021, like that. Turns out, no, it was Canada and Denmark. Canada let people down. They unraveled like a cat playing with a ball of thread. They unraveled in 10 seconds flat. Like a hyper cat playing with a freaking ball of thread. It sucked. It legitimately sucked. I just hate seeing it the whole damn time. It hurt. Croatia, they finished second, but they were damn good doing it. They should have done better, but they had a good group run. Croatia is exactly what you expect out of them. Beat the hell out of Canada. Drew Belgium, drew Morocco. But those two performances, they could have easily beaten Belgium. They should have beaten Belgium. They should have finished first. But Morocco does. They beat Belgium. They beat Canada. Drew Croatia. Great group for Morocco, and I respect them. And damn it, they built up from 2018, and they were in a Canadian-like situation in 2018. So maybe things will be better for Canada in 2026, but we're talking about 2022 right now. Belgium, they were worse. Okay, no, they weren't worse than I expected, but they were exactly third place. I called that. I wanted Belgium to win in 2018. I thought they would, but now they suck. They're old. They're washed. I called that. So one team through Group F that I called, Canada instead of Morocco instead of Canada. Croatia, called that. Belgium, I had them in the right spot, but that's one. So, Group G. We're on to Group G. Brazil advances first place, 6 points. Switzerland, 6 points, second place advances. Cameroon, 4 points, eliminated. Serbia, 4 points, or 1 point, eliminated in fourth place. Brazil and Switzerland called that 1-2 perfectly, 3-4. Cameroon got third because of some late game heroics and some craziness and a red card, a second yellow, but when he ripped the shirt off. But still pretty good in the end. Still got the two teams going through, which is what matters the most. Brazil, I thought they'd get 9 points. They didn't, but nobody did. Brazil pulled a Portugal. Brazil pulled a France, rotated, ended up losing, even though they really shouldn't have. They were way better against Cameroon. Switzerland, they did enough. They're not great. They're not super awesome, but they're not bad. Switzerland did enough, and Xherdan Shaqiri actually did some this season, because he did nothing with Chicago. Cameroon actually surprised me. They played pretty damn well. Cameroon played pretty damn well for the circumstances. And Serbia, I expected a bit better. I expected a bit better with a great goal scorer in Alexander Mitrovic, Dusan Tadic, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. I expected better. They didn't have it. What do you want out of that? Then finally, but both teams threw out a Group G. Now Group H, finally. You got Portugal advancing on 6 points, first place, advancing. Second place, South Korea on 4 points, advancing. Uruguay, third place on 4 points because they scored 1 less goal than South Korea. And Ghana in fourth place on 3 points. Now, I had Portugal first, called it. Uruguay second, South Korea 3, Ghana 4. So I'm not too far off, but I had Uruguay, which means I only got one team through. And Ghana was in fourth place. So 3 right. Or no, 2 right, 2 wrong fully, but I got one team through on that. So overall, I got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 16 teams advancing into the round of 16 from the group stage. Let's talk about Group H. Portugal, they were good enough. Portugal did enough to get through. Were they the best? No. Were they world beaters? No. Could they still go to the final? Yes, because anything could happen in this World Cup, and honestly, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will kick on in the second half in the knockout stages. And besides, they have a pretty easy run until the semis, but then you could win on penalties. It could be like a Euro 2016 type moment. Whatever, we'll get into that. I'm kind of tipping my hand, but whatever. South Korea, they did enough. I thought Uruguay would pip them. It was the other way around. South Korea did enough. They haven't really played well at this tournament, but they got through anyway. Kind of the story of Group H. Uruguay, they sucked. Diego Alonso got outmanaged by Fernando Santos. That's all you got to say. That's all you have to say. if you got outmanaged by Fernando Santos, you're not a good manager. I said it before and I'll say it again. Diego Alonso, he failed at Inter Miami. He somehow won a CONCACAF Champions League with Monterrey and still sucked at the end of it. Still got sacked. Yeah. Did they replace him with Turco or was it not Vucetic, Aguirre? It was 2019. So no, it was Turco, then Aguirre. Monterrey changed out managers like Halloween candy. Jeez. And Ghana, 3 points. I'm actually surprised about Ghana. Ghana is one of the more surprising teams of this tournament so far. I was very happy to see Ghana do what they did. They played damn well. I thought they'd get out of the group over both South Korea and Uruguay. They didn't, but damn it. Ghana did well, even though they finished 4th. They had a great 4th place run. Ghana were amazing. They still got it. They still got something good brewing down there. 2026 is going to be amazing for the Black Stars of Ghana. Just wait. They were amazing. I love watching Ghana play, and I'm going to definitely watch them more once the next tournament, even before the next World Cup. Now, let's go on to the knockout stage predictions. Hopefully, this is less than 30 minutes. We'll find out. First off, Netherlands versus United States. I got the United States going through because you know what? Everything seems like it's brewing for an upset. U.S. can play up to their competition. They did to England. I think they can to the Netherlands. They're about the same level anyway of group of players and their cycle as well. And Netherlands has a big flu bug going around. They could be missing Frenkie de Jong, or at least 100% Frenkie de Jong. Cody Gakpo, if he's got the bug, they're screwed. You know what? Yeah, I think the U.S. are going to upset. I think the U.S. will upset the Netherlands. Is it really an upset? If you don't follow CONCACAF, if you think the Netherlands are a better team just because they're European, yes. Is it a slight upset? I don't think it's a super upset, but it's a slight upset. And the U.S. ran up in their group. Netherlands won, so technically, I guess. But I think the USA, they got the better team. They got the healthier team. Pulisic will be starting, or playing at least, but he will be available. I think he starts. Tough man. He's tough. So, U.S., I think they upset. I think the U.S. is going to do exactly what they need to do to upset and beat the Netherlands and go to the quarterfinals. Next up, Argentina versus Australia. I hate to say it, but Argentina is going to whip Australia. By all sense of the imagination, Australia is going to get whipped by Argentina. Argentina might be mid right now, but you put on Enzo Fernandez, Lionel Messi, and somehow Alexis McAllister. That's weird. To a team, against a team that could be easily broken down. It could give Argentina a lot of confidence to really kick on. And I think it happens. Besides, they want some revenge for 2018. So Argentina should easily dispatch of Australia, and I think they do. It'd be funny if it doesn't happen, but I think it happens. Next up, France versus Poland. Poland has absolutely been milquetoast. They cannot create the service for Lewandowski that Bayern did, and Barca is starting to. Lewandowski is a wonderful finisher. He is not a great hold-up play. He's not great at creating his own chances. He's more of a finisher. Not hold-up play. He's more of a finisher. A world-class finisher. And Poland's not giving him those chances. They did against Saudi, but France is a different beast. And France is going to have their best players after resting. They're going to have Griezmann. They're going to have Mbappe. They're going to have Giroud. They're going to have Lloris back in goal. They're going to have Upamecano back at the center-back position. And Rabiot is actually playing well in center mid. So, to be honest, it should be another walkover. France easily beats Poland. I don't think that's really a problem. Then again, we said that about Switzerland at the Euros and what happened, but I think it's different. France ends up winning. Next up, England versus Senegal. I think this one will be close, but I think England, the Three Lions, still end up winning. Senegal is going to give them a scare. It may end up being England in extra time. I don't think it goes to penalties like the Colombia game in 2018 did. But again, I like Senegal. I think Aliou Cissé is managing them well. But let's also remember Idrissa Gueye will be missing with a yellow card suspension. Yellow card accumulation, so that hurts them. England, they'll do enough. They'll break them down enough. But Senegal will give them a scare. But I think England ends up winning that game. Not in a runaway, but but they end up winning. Next up, Japan versus Croatia. See, I want Japan to win. I respect Croatia. But if I'm being honest, I think Croatia just win by the skin of their teeth. I think it's 1-1. I think Blue Lock does the work. I think Croatia's midfield does very well. I think both teams get a really good chance and score on it and then proceed to not score again. And I think we go to penalties, and I think Croatia has the more talented team on penalties, or the more penalty built-up team to do better on penalties. And I think the luck flips their way. Project Blue Lock will be over due to a penalty shootout loss to Croatia. Croatia goes on through to the quarters. Next up, Brazil versus South Korea. Brazil's going to walk over them 3-1 probably. Brazil has been amazing in this tournament. They don't even need Neymar. They have Richarlison. They have Vinicius Jr. They have Bruno Guimaraes, who just played today, who played pretty well. They have a lot of great players on this team. Casemiro, as long as they play him, they should be fine. Brazil versus South Korea. South Korea has been absolutely mid at this tournament. They've been bad. They haven't really been great. They snuck out of their group. I don't think that's a good chance for South Korea. I think Brazil gets it done. They walk through, have a great win against South Korea. Next up, Morocco versus Spain. This is going to be a barn burner. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a goal fest. Yeah, Spain will still have their tiki-taka. They'll still do great. But Morocco, they've got some talent. And I think they can easily make this a crazy match. But I think Spain ends up winning. Regular time, probably 5 goals in the game. I say 3-2 Spain. Spain's got a good team. Morata scores goals for Spain for some reason. So I think it gets done. Dani Olmo may chip in, as well as Pedri or Gavi. But Morocco, Ziyech, El Nesri. It's going to be a good game, and it's going to be a goal fest. I got Spain going through. And then finally, Portugal versus Switzerland. I don't think Switzerland can really beat Portugal. I think Switzerland is what they are, a mid-tier European team that can play well against mid-tier teams, do enough to at least shut down elite European teams for a while, but then end up breaking. Yes, they lost to France, but I think Portugal's more team-oriented, and Cristiano Ronaldo will probably start to fire on in the knockout stages when it really matters. He gets more clutch as it matters. I believe he will. Portugal goes through. Switzerland, they'll come out limp. They'll probably hold on for about 30, 45 minutes, and then the second half becomes what knocks them out. Next up, quarterfinals. We have Croatia versus Brazil. I think it's going to be very close. I think Brazil will score less goals than you would expect. I think Croatia will be in it longer than you expect, but I think Brazil wins in the end, gets a late goal, maybe even extra time, but I think Brazil finds a winner. Brazil has been shown that they could be shut down and stymied for a very extended period of time. But I think they do enough to where they at least get to extra time or win very late and move on to the semifinals. I think they're still the more talentedly better team than Croatia. Croatia could pull an upset. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. Or, hell, I wouldn't be shocked if Japan pulls an upset on them. But I wouldn't be shocked if Croatia's in the quarters, that Croatia pulls off an upset, but I don't think it happens. Brazil goes through. Next up, U.S. versus Argentina. United States versus Argentina. I think this is too early in the U.S.'s development curve to be beating Argentina. They're going to be really full of belief just as much as the USA is that they can win. Argentina is going to believe that they could do this for Messi at this point. And that beatdown of Australia would just be saying, hey, this is our time. It's our time. We're going to step in front of you. We're not going to stop. We're going to make it go. And I feel like Argentina is going to do enough to win. I think U.S. won't look bad. I don't think they'll get beat up. I think it'll be like Mexico versus Argentina, except U.S. actually scores a goal. But I think Argentina wins 2-1. Maybe in extra time. Maybe U.S. has more fight than I think. But I think Argentina goes to the semifinals pretty convincingly. Next up, Spain versus Portugal. I think this is where it ends up for Spain. I think this is the stopping point. I think this is where they get the seasoning portion probably finally comes in, where they need more seasoning. Cristiano probably single-handedly gets Portugal through, or maybe Bruno Fernandes or Rafael Leao help. But I think Portugal is good enough to beat Spain. I think they're still the better team right now. I think Portugal ends up winning. They go on to the semifinals. And finally, England versus France. France is a damn good team. England's not good enough. France has still got it. They still got the players. They still are damn good, even though they had a lot of injuries. I think France has this one. France will knock out England. England will finally fall apart to France. Not really surprisingly. Quarterfinals ain't bad, but France are better. Definitely better. They're the defending world champions. They're still better than England. France goes through to the semis. Next up, we got Argentina. Argentina versus Brazil. A repeat of the Copa America final. And I say Argentina wins it again. 1-0. Again, Argentina goes to the final. They win by the skin of their teeth, but I think Messi does it this time, not Angel Di Maria. Messi, I don't know if it'll be a penalty or an actual open play goal or a free kick, but I think Messi does enough to get his team to the final and get himself to the final. Brazil gets beat in a heartbreaking way once again, I think. Very late. Next up, France versus Portugal. I think it's going to be a draw. Go the whole distance. We go to penalties, and I think Portugal wins on penalties. I think Cristiano is still on the pitch, and I think he scores the winning penalty. I think Portugal will go to the final. They'll beat France on penalties. France finally falls apart somehow. I don't exactly know how, but I think it's written at this point. I think the final is written at this point. I think we all know how this is going to go. And I think we can expect it. Third place game, I have Brazil going over France. It'll be a goal fest, but I think Brazil ends up winning it. Then the final, we have Argentina versus Portugal. Another goal fest. Another 5-goal thriller. And Messi versus Ronaldo, World Cup final. I got Argentina winning. I still got Argentina winning. I think they're the actual better team of the two. I think Messi wants it more. And I think in the end, Argentina's just going to do enough to win over Portugal. It would be crazy if it was a penalty shootout, but I think it'll be an extra time late winner for Argentina. Argentina ends up winning the World Cup. Messi wins his World Cup. Argentina are your champions of the world in my prediction. And that's what I think is going to happen at the 2022 World Cup knockout stage. That's what I think, and let's see how it turns out. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in playlist. Share it with friends and family. All that great stuff. I shall see you tomorrow for a live watch along of Netherlands versus United States and a live of Argentina versus Australia and a review of Argentina versus Australia. Knockout rounds are here. The World Cup is wrapping up. Can't wait to see it. Let's have some fun. And let's really blow the doors off. Let's get this going. I think we will with the way things are going. With that being said, I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. Let's go.